Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm JJ Flazanes, your host. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today is a bonus episode, and I wanted to get it in here for the holidays in case there were any last-minute remaining gifts that you wanted to get for yourself or others and that you forgot about. Because as you know, a lot of the things that I talk about on the show are healthy things designed to help your health and wellness, and I love to give gifts that help other people in healthy ways. So the first one is, of course, the sleep mattress pad from the Earthing and Ground Therapy Company, which helps to reduce inflammation. And the bundle they created for me is if you buy a large mattress pad, you get a universal mat for free. So that universal mat can be used underneath your feet at your desk. It can be used underneath your arms on your desk when you're typing. You can use that mat for an animal, put it on the bed, put it under the bed, on the floor. You can put it on your chair at your desk and sit on it. There are many things you can do with the universal mat that comes for free. It's $70 value when you buy a large mattress pad. And for those of you that are looking for gifts for aging parents or sick friends or loved ones or pets, again, the Earthing and Grounding Company is a great place. And you can have it shipped directly to that person, unless, of course, you want to keep the universal mat for yourself. So you're going to go to jjflazanes.com/earthing. The link is in the show notes. I've tested it out. jjflazanes.com/earthing. So just make sure you spell it all right. It does work. Today's show is Suzy Hardy. Suzy's been on the show before. She owns CBD Fountain. And for those of you that bought some of the CBD products before from her, you get the first order 20% off when you use JJ code. And ongoingly, you can get 15% off site-wide. So if you want to go place an order for anything today, you can take 15% off if you're a returning customer at cbdfountain.com. Now, today's show, we're going to talk about our facial care line, which I love. One of the benefits of ordering the facial kit at jjflazanes.com/CBDface, besides the 10% off the already discounted products and free shipping, you get a Moroccan rose clay mask that she doesn't even have out yet. You get the deluxe version. It's a 1 ounce. It's worth $30. And I didn't even have it when we recorded the show, but I have it now and I've tried it and it's silky and divine. It tightens your pores. It's a detoxifying. The mud is detoxifying. So anyway, so when you hear that later in the show, you now know that I've tried it and I like it. And I'm encouraging anyone, especially for men who are listening. And I mean, it's good for everybody, but if you can't find something for your woman or women, this is also a great gift for anybody, because who couldn't use some vitamin C and CBD infused facial care that helps to reduce wrinkles and aging, even out your skin tone. Anyway, I love it. It's great. So make sure to check the show notes for all of the links and enjoy today's bonus episode, and happy shopping. Welcome back to the show, Suzy.
Hi, JJ. Thanks for having me.
Well, I wanted to talk about the evolution of CBD since our last conversation, because I feel like the world opened up and all of a sudden now there's more things to talk about and look at. Do you remember some of those episodes on the Food Heals podcast? So your grandfather used vitamin C to heal his spine, did you say?
My grandfather, so my grandparents, actually both sides of my parents, or both my parents were immigrants. They came here as children. My mom's dad was a shoemaker in Slovakia and also a teacher. But when he got here, he didn't speak English. And so he had various jobs. But I think when he first got to the States, he was a security guard in New York City in the building where Solgar Vitamins had their headquarters or had their offices in Manhattan. And the story goes that, because my grandfather didn't know about vitamins, this was in the, I want to say this late 50s, I guess. He didn't know anything about vitamins or nutrition, but they would give, if they had vitamins that were like not moving or they just had extra, they would give them away to the people in the building. And he was a poor immigrant, so he would take whatever he could get. And he started to educate himself and ask them questions and would bring these boxes of free vitamins home to my mom and my aunt. And they, at the time, were experiencing acne. They had just started drinking Coke and loved it. And my mom tells me that, she started to break out. And my grandfather, for not knowing exactly, he said, stop drinking the Coke. I have a feeling that's not helping, even though it tastes really good. It's, and take these vitamins. And she did. And her skin cleared up. And that was my mom's path to researching and reading. And then when she was pregnant with me, would go to the doctor and say, I'm pregnant, and what should I be taking nutrition, supplement wise, nutrition. So this was in the 70s. And the doctor actually said, I don't know, you know more than I do. So my mom developed the passion for it. And then I was raised with it. I was given supplements. I was, before I could swallow pills and capsules, as a baby, as a little girl, I was given liquid vitamin C, which tasted really good. Actually, it tasted like tart citrusy. I was given liquid vitamin B, which was disgusting, but I was told, we don't just eat for taste, we eat for health. This is helping, your body needs this. She would grind up Solgar mineral mineral tablets, because Solgar was very natural, and put them into yogurt, and I would eat that. So that was my childhood. I wasn't allowed sugary cereal. We my mom balanced it, but she knew that if, as long as I was getting the nutrients that I needed, that it's okay if you cheat a little bit. So it wasn't so stringent, but like, I knew I had to take my vitamins. I knew I had to eat for health. I knew I had to eat fruits and vegetables. That was my life. That was how I was raised. So he later in life, my grandfather lived to 99, and he was mega dosing vitamin C for a long time. I'm talking like, I want to say like, I don't know, 20 or 30 grams a day, maybe even more. That's a lot. I don't even do that. But he had developed arthritis in his spine, where it was diagnosed. He went to and he started to hunch a little bit as he got older. He went to the doctor. They did an x-ray. They're like, oh, you have arthritis in your spine. I think it was about a year later, for whatever reason, he was back at the doctor. And they basically did another x-ray and said, your arthritis is gone. How did, they were scratching their heads, and he just knew that, like, he believed in the power of vitamin C. And so that was passed on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your grandfather has had the success with vitamin C. And then I know you've talked about it on the Food Heals podcast as well. What did you ail your own things with vitamin C?
There's little anecdotes. I knock on wood. I have never really had too many health problems, other than the occasional cold, flu. I do know that when my brother came along, who's 4 years younger than me, my mom had chewable vitamin C for us as kids when we had our teeth, after we had the liquid. And he loved it so much because we didn't have a lot of junk in the house. He called it candy. Can I have my candy? And he ate that stuff all day long. And the kid was not sick until he was about 4 years old. I kid you not. Like, he didn't have any childhood stuff. He didn't have sniffles. He was healthy. I noticed for myself that when I do keep up on my supplements, vitamin C being the one that I take the most of, I don't get sick. I remember, this is just an anecdote, but I remember my grandmother, my mom's mom, raised dogs, bred dogs. And I think one of them, my aunt had one of them who had gotten parvo. And just like your little cat, the dog didn't make it because parvo is very fatal, but would have these convulsions. And my aunt would break apart tablets of vitamin C, wrap them in something, and give it to the dog. And she would tell us, like, I noticed a difference. So, like, all these little things, not to mention reading about it and reading about how and why it works, that it is an antioxidant, that it helps our body, just like CBD, it helps our body heal itself. Our immune system needs it. Our skin needs it for collagen production. It mops up free radicals. Free radicals are, which I laugh because every time I say that, I think of like a coup, anyway, but it's a coup in our body, right? So like, if we eat poorly, or we're breathing in pollution, or we're stressed, when cells get damaged, they break apart. And I was a biology nerd, so I always loved this. So you have all of these little organelles that are in the cells that were contained in a cell membrane, and now they're floating about, and they're not supposed to be floating about. And so they go and they steal electrons because they're not in their own state. They're not contained in that cell anymore. They're not supposed to be there. Vitamin C, as an antioxidant, will come along and neutralize them, because if they don't get neutralized, they'll bump into, literally like pinball, they'll bump into other cells, break those apart, and cause more free radicals. And that causes oxidative stress, which then leads to inflammation, which then leads to disease, can lead to disease. So it's just one of the ways in which it helps our body maintain homeostasis.
And I love that we're now putting it in facial products. Again, I haven't tried too many other lines of, by accident, you found out, experienced how your CBD lotion was reducing the amount of brown spots, sunspots, skin stuff on your arms, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. So every product that I make and promote, I first test on myself, and also come about because there's a personal story behind it. So the facial care, which I really love because I've always been a skincare snob. I was a actress in Hollywood for many years, so I was always very aware of any kind of aging. And when I started my products, I started my company with my body lotion. It was to relieve my own back pain, which it did. And when I make my body lotion, it relieves pain anywhere you rub it. I've given it to people with, knee problems, carpal tunnel, bulging discs, torn meniscus, you name it, it works. It's the CBD that relieves pain. And when I make it, I hate waste. So anytime I have a little bit of extra lotion that's not enough to bottle, I'll usually put it on myself. I'll just rub it on my arms predominantly. And I'm right-handed. And so I always rub it on my left arm because I'm right-handed. And I lived in Los Angeles for many years and have a lot of sun damage from driving. My left arm was, closest to the window. And I started to notice over time that the sunspots on my arms were fading compared to my left arm were fading compared to my right arm. And I thought, oh my God, it's the antioxidants and the CBD. It's actually making my skin look better. I'm going to make a facial line. So that's the personal story behind the beginnings of it. And then, in terms of the ingredients, being a skincare snob and also being very aware of what I'm putting in and on my body in terms of chemicals, I wanted to make it as natural and as organic as I could possibly make it, with it also being a pleasurable experience and being effective in terms of fighting aging and keeping my face youthful. So I made it, I tried to make it smell really good. And I wanted to use really good quality ingredients, which to me means, things from nature, vitamin C, things that are already in our skin, hyaluronic acid, red raspberry seed oil. So I went down the rabbit hole with that in terms of what I was going to put into these facial care products and what I was going to make. But it was really fun because it's something I'm very passionate about. I've tried, you name the line and I've tried it. I love going, looking for new stuff that's going to, keep me radiant. So it was a lot of fun creating them. And I continue to create more products because I like individual stuff. So I like, some people want like a one and done, like my husband, just one moisturizer. That's it. I like an eye cream. I like serums, in the day I like something lighter. In the night, I like something heavier. So I have options for people.
Well, I have to say, I've never been the person who has followed an entire line like for a long time. I've purchased lines for facial care with the promise of antioxidants and with the promise of anti-aging and this and that. And I've done them. And because I'm actually taking the act of, spending that much time on my face and having so many steps, I definitely can say that I saw a difference in just my overall, again, skin from the amount of attention I was giving it versus when I normally do, which is use one product from one line or a different product from another line, or sometimes not use anything except washing my face.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had gotten to the point where I was ready to try a line, was to spend more time. And I've never loved lotions. They feel thick. They feel like there's a barrier, like they really don't penetrate your skin.
Yeah, they can.
And
yeah.
right. And they feel waxy sometimes, or you get shiny. Like I have the normal T-zone skin, and having something that makes me oilier doesn't work because I'm just trying to keep the oil at bay and not get, soppy and wake up and have my face be all this oil on it. Because sometimes the skin will produce more oil when it feels like it has to compete against something else. So there are definitely natural reactions to certain products, using them and not using them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say that when I got your line, I was excited because of our first conversation we had about CBD, and it really I really got the idea that this was sort of like the new vitamin C. Now I know it's not vitamin C, but we talked so much about CBD being an antioxidant. And I have to also report that since our last show, I have used CBD in so many situations, like the tincture on. I'm actually, I don't know if you follow me at all on social media, but I mean, I know we see each other's posts, but I do a lot of fostering. And
Yes.
on the negative side, probably in May, I had a litter and two of them didn't make it. And one of them was having like congestive heart failure, like in my
Yeah.
presence.
Oh,
And she was in such pain. And I gave her CBD to calm her down, to at least, try to relax with what was going on with her. And she didn't end up making it. And it was super sad. And I was devastated, but I felt at least good that I could get her out of pain temporarily
yeah.
by giving her some CBD. And then my cat Luna recently she has like this ongoing earache, and the ear thing, I didn't know it wasn't an earache, but an ear thing. And all of a sudden her neurological system like took a dive, and she couldn't walk, and her eyes were like, looked like she was almost having a seizure in her head. And it freaked me out. And I grabbed the CBD. It was right next to the bed, and I gave her some, and it calmed her down enough. I mean, not that she was sitting still, but I could tell that her nervous system was out of whack.
Yeah.
And I felt confident that this wasn't going to hurt her, and that was going to
No.
help her temporarily, if not long term. So that was really great to have. And then now I have these kittens who have been here for at least over a week. And at first, when a kitten isn't sure that they're going to get fed, they scream bloody murder. And so I dropped very little bits, very little, not even a quarter of a dropper in a whole can that 5 of them were eating. And I definitely have seen it's really calmed them down. And I don't do it every
Oh,
day.
yeah.
So, for the cats and for the animals, I find that really helpful to feel like, I did something helpful that wasn't a drug and that didn't hurt them and that could possibly help them past that. I work in some CBD into a biohack for my cat Sugar. So I created my own little tincture of different homeopathic things, and put tuna juice in it so that when she would like it,
Oh,
she needs taurine for her eyes, because I
yeah.
think her mom didn't have enough taurine. But anyway, so on the tincture side for the cats, I have found that to be really helpful, and I feel really good. Like I have a first aid kit
Yeah.
next to me that works quickly. I have homeopathic stuff that I give them for whatever ails them, and sometimes it can work pretty quickly, but I feel like the CBD works super fast. So for that, I feel confident. And of course, the question always is for people, make sure it doesn't have THC in it, which I'm like, I know. Like, this is why we had the first show, because I wanted to make sure people understood the difference, and that I understood the difference of why people think it's dangerous or could be, and how someone would react to it. So that's my update for the tincture for your products. But after getting the facial line, here's what I want to say about it. First of all, I've been using it every day, sometimes twice a day, most of the time twice a day. It's been over a month. I've barely used a fourth of the facial wash. Like, I love how little I
Yeah.
need to use of the face wash.
Yeah.
I love how it feels. I love how it lathers quickly. It's so economical, because literally I don't even have, like, maybe an eighth of it's gone. It's been a month. Like, I use
Yeah.
like literally the smallest drop of the facial wash, and it lathers beautifully and it feels great on my skin. And then all the other products feel great. Like you said, smell great. I feel like they all absorb really well. I don't feel like my face is sticky or oily or anything like that.
Yeah.
I have a test spot for sun damage, but it's on my shoulder and my back. So I don't remember to see, like, I don't see it all the time. I forget
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
I haven't been as diligent putting it there, but I will say around week 3 or week 4, that I could definitely tell an improvement in the clarity of my skin. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it felt more even in the way that it looks. Like, there's no red patches. I don't have a lot of sunspots to
No,
speak
you
of. I
don't.
mean, no, I don't, but I have, but my skin tone and the coloring feels more even after using it for a few weeks. Oh, and the eye cream.
Yeah.
So again, my beef with a lot of pumps and the way that they package things is that you get too much.
Yeah.
You get too much, and then now you're like, I didn't need this whole thing for my eyes. I need a very little dab
Mm-hmm.
for my eyes. And your little, bottle, like I can just do the smallest little dot, and it's all I need. It's like that
Yeah.
thing's gonna last me a year.
Yeah, I know. So this is the difference. One of the differences between my line and many others that are made by corporations that are out there to make a profit. Like I'm a business. I'm out there to make a profit, but I made this first for me, who's a skincare snob, who thought through. I mean, JJ, these products took me like a year. I had the first two I had was the vitamin C cream and the cranberry blueberry oxygen mask. And I loved them so, and like I started with those because those I knew were solid and I knew I was going to use them all the time. But there was a lot of thought that went into all of this. I tried a lot of different formulations. I wanted to be able to stand behind it in many different respects. So that is one of the things too. It's like, you're right, that little pump, like you don't need a lot for your eyes. You really don't. It's just enough to deliver some moisture and the CBD, and that's it. So I'm so happy to hear that because it always makes me smile.
Well, because these are things that are important to me. I don't, like I said, the whole oily thing and it feeling thick on your skin and using too much and having it be super expensive and then using it too quickly because again, the pump or the amount that you get when you use it is more than you need. And I love the way all of your products feel. And again, I don't like leave feeling sticky or leave feeling oily and it feels light enough, but yet it works. It's actually potent enough for the amount that I'm using. So I love all the ingredients that you have in it. So let's talk about for a second your experience with your own facial line in terms of your own skin. I know with your arm, but let's talk about your face and why, because I'm not using the lotion as much because again, I was not that I like it and I've used the oxygen mask, the cranberry blueberry oxygen mask, but let's talk about like, what have you experienced?
In terms of each of the products?
In terms of your own skin, using your own products.
Oh, yeah. We'll start with the first two. So the vitamin C, well, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm really glad that you pointed that out because, and this is from my experience with using lots of different other product lines, from, cheaper to very expensive. There's a while I was spending so much on one line that promised to have a lot of nutrients and still didn't have the greatest ingredient lineup. And I noticed benefits from that. It's like a nutraceutical line. So I wanted to follow that, but I wanted to go even farther and make it as potent as I could in terms of natural ingredients as I could. So I started with the vitamin C cream. I wanted it to, I hate those products that you buy that either they feel good when you put them on and then they get sucked in so quickly and then you feel dry again. So I vacillate between dry skin and oily T-zone. When I moved to the West Coast from New York, I got oily. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the air, because there's more moisture on the East Coast in terms of the humidity, but my skin changed. And I hate those products that like either suck in immediately and then you feel like you didn't put anything on, or like you said, sit on top of the skin and you just feel like you have this layer of gook on you're not dry, but it doesn't feel good. So the vitamin C cream is a thicker moisturizer. You can use it day or night, but so if anybody's followed us on Food Heals Nation, which I'm a co-host on Food Heals podcast, I'm a big fan of vitamin C. I have a long history of my family using vitamins, in particular vitamin C. It healed my grandfather's arthritis that was in his spine. He was mega dosing ever since the 70s, probably too much. I don't think he balanced it out with enough calcium, but he always believed in it. And so my mom always believed in it. We got a lot of vitamin C, and I've always believed in it for the skin in particular. It helps build collagen. It's just so good. Our skin absorbs it. It needs it. Best to take it internally, but also if you're going to put something on your face, why not have it in there as well? So I started with the vitamin C cream, sort of a good moisturizer, and people have different skin needs. So someone with really oily skin, is going to be different than someone who has dry skin. So I started with this to try to have one that's, a general use vitamin C cream. And I loved it. I noticed a glow. Like I said, I sometimes have the oily T-zone, but I could use it all over my face. And that was my very first product. The second one was the cranberry blueberry oxygen mask. And I love treatment masks. I always have. Ever since I became a teenager, my mom had, the St. Ives apricot scrub and the St. Ives like clay mask. And ever since I found out about those, I was like, oh, it feels luxurious to put a little bit of a treatment mask on. Mine is meant to gently exfoliate. It has fruit acids in it, and it's meant to, drive really good ingredients into your face. So in the cranberry blueberry oxygen mask, we have, it's a variety of stuff, but we have jojoba oil, CoQ10, blueberry extract, a little bit of glycolic acid, coconut oil. And so that's more of the treatment mask. Those were the two that I started with. And with the treatment mask, I felt like, you could use a lot of good ingredients and a lot of good products, but if you don't gently remove the top layer, you're not going to have a glow. And you can do that by two ways. You can either do it with a physical scrub like that St. Ives that I used when I was a teenager, which is the apricot scrub, or you can do it with a little bit of fruit acids, which is what this one is. It's kind of both ways because it has a little bit of texture in it. So when you're rubbing it on, you're scrubbing a little bit, and then you leave it on. And what I was always amazed by with this final formula that I have is that it doesn't dry because there's a lot of good oils in it, grapeseed oil, red raspberry seed oil, apricot kernel oil, is that my skin actually sucks it in. So it's sucking in the CBD, it's sucking in all of that good stuff. And then when you rinse, you have a nice fresh layer. From there, you then put on, you layer beyond that, whether it be the serums, the hyaluronic acid. So let's move on to...
Let's talk about that scrub for a second, because it's funny. There was another CBD line that's based here in California. I got asked to be part of this focus group and experience some of the products. And one of the things that they had was also like a mask that had the seeds in it, because I think you're no longer allowed to use certain ingredients in those masks. I believe it's like by law or something. There's that part, but the other part, the more important part, is the misconception that people think they need to be scrubbing the crap out of their face with something rough, and actually how that creates more damage.
Yeah.
And actually using something like what you're talking about in your cranberry blueberry oxygen mask, which actually vitamin C and the fruit acids are actually taking that layer off gently. So you're not actually causing friction on the skin, which actually can cause you to lose. It's damaging.
Yeah.
The scrubbing part.
It causes micro tears. It's not good.
Right. So, but most people think, oh, in order to exfoliate my skin, it needs to be scrubbed hard. And that's actually not true, especially not your face. So
yeah.
We don't want to scrub hard. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention that because it is sort of that new focus. I've worked with a lot of people in the facial care industry who are also like, no, you never scrub. You gently allow, to come off with products like what you're talking about, like what you're...
Yeah, because what are there, 8 layers of cells before you get to, you don't want to take off a bunch of them. You just want to take off the top dead layer.
Yeah. I love the cranberry blueberry oxygen mask. I think it smells wonderful. So
it smells good enough to eat. It really does.
Well, I don't use it as much as I probably need to, because one of the things on the card is I wasn't sure which order to do them all in. And I did read that it said, do that one twice a week. And I think I've done it twice only in the whole month. But then I wasn't sure if I always should use the hyaluronic acid along with the magic cream or one at a time, or anyway. So I kind of just play with whatever I feel like. And obviously the facial wash.
Yeah. I feel like I come at it where there is no one way for everybody. Anybody who says there is full of it. You have to do what feels good for you. And the benefits of my line is that they're meant to layer. So it's not like, you're going to wash your face, use this. It's got the CBD. It's got the good ingredients. If you feel like a mask, use the cranberry mask. It's going to help your skin absorb the hyaluronic acid serum. If you don't have time and you just feel like, you need a little bit of moisturizer, then you throw on the day serum, the Botanic Magic Day Serum or the vitamin C moisturizer. I don't know. I just feel like I can't tell people you must do this every day for 5. You know what I mean? It's people are going to gravitate to what they like. Hopefully they like it all. It's meant to be used together, but I don't like that. I don't like companies telling me what to do.
Again, I haven't tried too many other lines of CBD facial care, but I do have to say that I really am enjoying my routine and my ritual now with my face and the products because they feel light. They feel like they get absorbed. I'm not oily. And I'm seeing a difference. It took about 3 weeks of constant use to see something specific. But I mean, even if for someone who isn't looking for anything specific, something is going to change and something's going to happen.
Mhm.
So I'm loving all these ingredients. Let's just talk about some of the other, like why you chose to use certain ingredients versus others. So let's talk about the plant stem cells.
Stem cells are one of the latest things in nutrition and health and wellness. And they're basically like little ninjas. And they help our body kind of regenerate. So when I first heard of stem cells, because I thought that was just from your own body. You can take your own stem cells for healing various illnesses. But these are like little ninjas that help our body, help our skin regenerate and be youthful and fresh and just make us look really good. So, along with all of the other, things. So that I have in my botanic magic, and that's why I call it magic, because it's the stem cells that really aid, along with the CBD and all of the vitamins I have in there. I have vitamin B5, I have vitamin E, and all of the good fruit oils as well. Just help keep, women know we get dull and dry and tired, and maybe our skin reacts to being oily, and this keeps a very like a dewy freshness with the botanic magic.
Well, it's sort of like I know it's not the serum, but in a way it kind of is like a serum,
No, it's a
right?
serum.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably should change it to botanic magic serum instead of botanic magic cream, but no, it's like a daytime, it's like a light serum. But for someone with oily skin, that is enough. That might be enough for them, because the vitamin C cream might be too thick.
Well, but then you have the hyaluronic acid serum. Let's talk about that one. I love it.
Yeah, the hyaluronic acid. So that is one of the later developments also in like beauty regimens, although now it's in like the mainstream, companies in the drugstores are doing a hyaluronic acid serum. Hyaluronic acid is naturally occurring in our skin. We have more of it when we're younger, and it's hydrophilic, meaning it attracts water to itself. So, it's a natural component, and when we put it on or we use it in our skincare, it's going to help plump your skin and remain dewy and moisturized. We lose it as we age, so we have a lot of it when we're younger. Obviously, it's sitting out in the matrix of our skin. It's attracting water to itself, and then as we get older, we have less and less of it, and therefore contributes to the loss of plumpness and that youthful kind of look. So that's why I made a serum out of it, and it's wonderful to layer under either of the moisturizers. You want to apply it to a slightly moist face, because then it's going to suck in that moisture. Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. Okay. Now, what's really fun about this line is that the products alone without the CBD are good ingredients. They're good enough.
Yeah.
And then you add the CBD, and that's what's so fun. I don't know. I just think it's really fun. Let's talk about some practices that people are doing to their skin. Have any idea? Like things, obviously, when we spend this much time and energy on using multiple products, and of course, what you're using is going to make all the difference, but even just the energy, we're putting good positive energy into caring for our face and our skin. What would be some things that you could recommend for people either to stop doing because it's hurting them, or little, hacks of things that would make a big difference?
The first thing that comes to mind, because I was a massage therapist for so long, which is one of also the benefits of spending so much time just applying products to your face, is facial massage. People honestly don't usually know this, but wrinkles are like kinks in your neck. They're like wrinkles are from making certain facial movements over and over for many years, and then the loss of our as we get older, a loss of our youth, and together you get these fine lines and wrinkles from the facial expressions that we've made. But you can actually help prevent them if you don't want to do things like sticking botulism toxin in your face, like Botox, to basically freeze the muscle. That's why Botox works. It's the toxin from botulism, and it innervates, basically poisons your muscle and says you're not allowed to move anymore, and that's why it works. You can do the same thing. It takes more effort by gently massaging your wrinkles away. And when I learned that in massage school, I was still in my 20s. So I was like, what? But I didn't really need to put it into practice until later, until now, where sometimes for fun, I'll do half my face and then I'll look at it, in the mirror. I'm like, oh, look at that. So it's a natural, easy, free, feels good thing to do for yourself. Part of self-care is just massage your face, and you can use, any kind of good quality. You don't even need anything. You could use a facial oil. You could use a cream, whatever you want.
Okay, hold
One
on.
of the things that,
But how? How do we all right, I'm like massaging my face, but how?
Okay. So we'll go zone by zone. So for instance, forehead, which is probably the biggest area, you want to do soft circles. You want to take the pads of 2 or 3 of your fingers, and you don't, it's very, so it's very, very light and very, very gentle. Reason being is the muscles in our face are very thin. They're not like our trapezius. They're not like our bicep. They're very, very thin. And what you're trying to do is coax it into relaxing away the kink of the wrinkle, as opposed to hurting yourself or pushing into your face. So it's soft, gentle circles. You're actually working it's the fascia, if we're going to get into it. It's the fascia is connective tissue. I remember did you ever go to that Body Worlds exhibit, JJ, when they came to LA?
Yes. Well, I'm as a trainer, I know what fascia is. So it's literally,
I know you do, but I don't know if your audience does.
We used to call it saran wrap for the
exactly.
It's like saran wrap for the muscles.
Exactly. It's like saran wrap. And when you pull on like the edge of saran wrap, it creates a wrinkle, and it can keep going. So that's how, as you know, a knot in your low back can affect your neck. It's the same thing with your face, but it's just very, 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 very it's saran wrap in your face. So you just gently soft circles all around any kind of area of the wrinkle. And if you do that, if you do half your face, you'll notice it. Around your eyes, you want to go up and out away from like if it's the corner where the crow's feet are, you go up and out. And you keep your fingers in the same spot. I'm doing it as I'm talking. You keep your fingers in the same spot, but you just, like you said, you're coaxing the fascia to relax and to release that wrinkle.
Am I doing a circle? I'm doing it too. Am I doing a circle near my eye, up and out,
It's basically like it's almost like it's not your finger moving across your face. It's your finger planted gently, and then it's moving the tissue in the circle, if that makes sense.
Right. Oh, I got the circle on the forehead. When you went to the eyes, I wasn't sure if I was doing a circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always small circles, small, gentle circles is what releases top level fascia. You got to think about it in layers. So you're not going towards, deep, deep muscle. You're just doing the top layers. And then the same thing for the lines that like the marionette lines around your mouth. You can do that too. That's one that I'm doing it now. I hope it doesn't affect my speech, but
yeah, I'm doing it too.
That one's a bit thicker because of that, the muscles there in the face. But again, it's you're keeping that finger in the same spot and then doing soft, circles and moving the tissue around it.
I used to get facials from a woman she's probably about 45 minutes away, and I stopped, and I recently called her, although I haven't heard back from her. So I need to call her again just to see if she's still in business, because one of the things that I liked, besides the fact that the price was right, and it was literally almost a 2-hour facial, is that she spent at least, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes massaging my face multiple times. And I thought, this feels amazing. And I would feel like it made a difference. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because
it's amazing that people don't know about it, and that they do resort. And obviously it takes time. Like I said, a lot of people, either they don't have it or they don't want it to spend the time to do, self-care on your face. But like, it works, it's free, and it feels good. And it's just very effective, if you don't want to inject things into your face.
I don't want to inject things into my face. I tried one thing. I tried the Juvederm once. I'm never going to do Botox. It kills your muscle. And while there are some ways to use it therapeutically, I know physical therapists can use it sometimes in children, in muscles in like the lower leg, if something isn't working properly, or if they can't walk, or, I mean, there are very few, I think, reasons why you would want to use it not in your face. Right. But I'm not a fan of Botox at all. It's poison, and I don't want to eat poison. I don't want poison anywhere near me. Right.
Yeah.
However, I did try one injectable one time. It was Juvederm, because we make
What do
it.
you think?
It's right. What I think, I thought it was, I like swelled up. I mean, and I was more concerned about bruising on my
Yeah.
face. I came prepared with 3 different types of arnica. It was
Yeah.
the minute after she removed the needle, I'm like putting topical arnica on. I'm taking arnica orally. So I was doing everything to make sure I didn't get bruised, but on one side I swelled up a little bit, and it wasn't, again, I still didn't get any bruising, but it doesn't last. And then, you know what? I felt like it actually made it worse. Like I got this temporary, which I really couldn't see that much difference because I didn't use a lot of it. We used 1 syringe or vial for like both sides, and I just wanted to test what it would be like. And it naturally goes away after like 4 weeks, I think, 4 to 6 weeks. But I actually felt like I looked worse after it went away. Like I didn't think it was that bad. And then I just wanted to see if it would look good. And I didn't feel like it looked good enough for me to continue doing it. It's expensive. It's unnecessary,
Yeah.
but I did want to try it because it wasn't Botox. And I thought, well, let me just see what this is all about. I'm
Yeah.
all about the facial care naturally and doing
Yeah.
things. I've done things where you're strengthening the muscles in your face. So,
Me too. Facial yoga.
well, I haven't done facial yoga. I've done more of, I've gone somewhere and worked with someone
Oh,
to
okay.
use a machine that helps with its radio frequencies that help stimulate the muscle. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a little bit more passive. I will move into the facial yoga next because when you do those kinds of treatments, they do get costly, and it
Yeah.
becomes a little bit of a pain in the butt to have to go all the time.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, it's the same concept of working the muscles in your face like you work the muscles in your body to keep them tight, to keep them firm, and to keep
Mm-hmm.
them from sagging.
Mm-hmm.
So all
And
these, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just going to say, I have also done Juvederm, and I've done Botox once, and I couldn't move my forehead. It was really creepy, and I didn't like it. And I thought, I don't want to do this again. I want to be, I was an actress, and there's so many women in Hollywood that do that to their faces. And, it's how, then I've even heard, my therapist told me, like, people that are doing a lot of Botox, then they stop feeling because they can't process, like, it's part and parcel. The way we feel is also how we're able to express it and move through it, and vice versa. If you can't express it, what do you do with the emotion? It was a really interesting perspective. And then I also started doing, they call it facial yoga, but it's the same thing. It's toning. So I have a bit of the eyelid hooding where I felt like gravity was taking hold. And this is something that my family has, where I started looking up different people on YouTube that were showing you different isolation techniques of exercising your face, basically. And it does work. So like when I do the one that I do for my eyelid hooding, is you take both hands and you push up your eyebrows so that it kind of pulls your eyelids taut, and then you blink, you hold for 10 seconds. And when I do that often enough, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to look like I did in my 20s. It's not that, but it looks better. It brings that up a bit, and it really does work.
Yeah, the facial hacks are important for us to pay attention to, if those of you that want to do more natural things like I do. But I definitely do feel like I'm noticing a difference in lines in my face. Like everything is smoothing out since using your products. So I will
Awesome.
definitely say that. I'm a big one on, I'm not going to lie about something, and I'm going to be completely
No, and
honest.
you're also like, because I have some ladies up here in Bend where they're older, they're in their 50s and 60s, and the difference is much more noticeable because of where they started from with their aging in their face already. I haven't seen you in a while, but you've always looked great. Like there's nothing that I'm thinking. I was like, I was thinking about this too. I'm like, I wonder what JJ's experienced, because she doesn't have like massive wrinkles or anything like that. But your face. So I'm glad to hear that you feel like you see a difference and you enjoy using the products.
And I did take a before picture, and I will take another after picture. I just need it to be sort of set up the same way, because
Yeah.
I did it against the sun, like with the sun on me. Like, I wanted to look like if I wanted to share, it wasn't horrible. Like the lighting in my bathroom isn't awesome. So I will definitely take an after picture and compare them for myself. And then if they're good enough to share, I will. But otherwise I will, people know I have integrity. I'm not going to lie about this. And I haven't used a lot of these other lines for a long period of time for the reason of all the things I said earlier. They're too thick, they're too heavy, you use too much, they're too expensive. And while I may see a difference, I'm not committed to that difference. There's something like this whole idea of the CBD and being antioxidant and having the ability to remove brown spots or aging spots on top of all the other things that we're doing. So what I love about like the idea of the products with the CBD is like they're nutrient dense. Like that's what I feel like I'm getting. I'm getting not just these things that are in everyone else's products. It's almost like having that superfood kale smoothie. You feel like you're really, really getting just a nutrient dense packed dose of something good for your face. And so that's why I wanted to try your products and I wanted to really have a good experience with them, which I did and I have. And I think that anyone that's interested in looking for another line, I'd love to help you try Suzy's. And so we've come up with something for you. It's a JJ special, so to speak. Why don't we tell them what that is, Suzy?
Of course. Yeah, it is a JJ special. So individually, right now we have 6 products. There are some more coming down the pipeline, but right now we have 6 products, 6 facial care products that individually, if you bought them individually, would be about $300. We do sell them as a kit at a discount. So for $220, you can try the whole line. And as JJ said, it'll last you quite a while. We're then going to give you an extra 10% off of that. So you're going to come down to $200 and actually under $200. And then you're also going to get a free, this is one of the products that I am launching soon. You're going to get a deluxe sample of our Moroccan Rose Clay Mask, which is a $30 value. It's going to be 1 ounce. And this actually that's going to last you a long time. The Moroccan Rose Clay Mask with CBD smells amazing. And we don't have this yet. The clay mask, as if anyone has used them before, is you're going to put it on a wet face. It's going to dry. It's going to tighten your pores. It's going to detoxify. It's really lovely. And you're going to get free shipping.
So to get that deal, and again, it's the whole line, which individually would be over $300. But sells for $220. We're going to give you an extra 10% off. And you're going to also get a $30 sample of the Moroccan Rose Clay Mask, which she doesn't even sell yet.
No.
So that is the deal. And you're going to get free shipping. So you're going to get that at jjflazanes.com/CBD face. CBD face. And then for those of you that aren't, or that love the products that you've already tried, and maybe you're a guy and you don't want to do this whole line of facial care products, we want to be able to extend you also a JJ discount ongoing, which will be the code. Just use JJ as the code and you'll get 15% off your order.
Site-wide.
So while there was the 20% off for those of you that are listening for the first time, if you're a first time listener of my show or of this episode with Suzy and you haven't purchased anything from her yet at cbdfountain.com, you can use the code JJ and get 20% off your first order. Now that does not include this special. This is a JJ special of getting the whole facial care line at a discount, at a deeper discount of an extra 10% off and free shipping. And you get the new Moroccan Rose Clay Mask, which is worth $30 for 1 ounce. It will sell for $60 at 2 ounces when she's ready to put that out there. But you're going to be the first to get to try it. And I'm excited to also try it. So again, that's jjflazanes.com.
JJ doesn't even have it yet.
I don't even have it yet. It's jjflazanes.com/CBD face. And seriously, if you're someone who wants a line, like I was waiting for a line, I want a good, easy line where I like all the products and I feel like they're all doing something specific. I think that's the other thing. I think that the really thick serums on some of the other lines just felt like, I don't know if this is doing anything for me. I don't trust that this is doing anything for me. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know them like I know you. And maybe it's because some of the ingredients feel like, oh, they're natural. But, a lot of natural lines use fillers still. They get to use, I think it's some kind of regulation, right? That as long as you have like 10% or 1% or something of natural products, you get to claim natural. But there's still a lot of crap in it.
Yeah. And or there's stuff that, it's natural, but is it really helping? Is it absorbing? Is it keeping you looking the way you want to look? That's what I found with a lot of natural lines is that, the ingredients are, so that's, again, I go back to what I was looking for as a consumer, which was, good ingredients. Is it pleasurable to use? Does it feel good and smell good? And is it effective? So those were my 3 parameters. And I've tried so many different products where they had 2 out of the 3, or they had 1 out of the 3. A lot of the natural lines, great ingredients, don't maybe smell so good, don't really do anything. Like you can take coconut oil and smear it on your face, but you're greasy. And is it really doing anything? And is it pleasurable to feel greasy? Not really. So those were my parameters in creating all of my products, really.
So check it out. It makes a great Christmas gift for anyone who is really into organic, natural skincare. I think it'd be a great Christmas gift. It comes in a nice pouch with the ingredients listed on a card, and everything fits in there nice and neatly. And
It's a hemp pouch.
It's a hemp pouch. It's lovely. I took it with me to Palm Springs. That's when I first got it, and when I first tried it, and I wanted to do the before and after picture. So I was committed. It's easy to travel, and not easy to travel. Hold on, let's talk about that for a second. Is the vitamin C watch? That's more than 3 ounces, isn't it?
That is 4 ounces, and so that would be too big. So the vitamin C watch is the only one that believe 4 ounces is the threshold where you'd have to put it. If you're going to fly, you'd have to put it in something smaller.
Well, or put it in your suitcase. Just pack it in your suitcase.
Put it in your suitcase.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You can't take it on the plane as a carry-on. You'd have to put it underneath in your bag. But other than that, the rest of them are less than 3 ounces or less, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So if anyone has any questions for Suzy, how could they reach out to you?
They can email me, info@cbdfountain.com. And that is our website with all of our products, cbdfountain.com.
And there'll be a link to that, plus the link for the JJ special in the show notes below. Again, it's the whole facial care line, which individually is over $300. Together, it's $220. You're going to get an extra 10% off that, plus free shipping, and the $30 Moroccan Rose Clay Mask, which I haven't used yet, so I can't speak to that one, but I'm sure it's fabulous because there hasn't been anything that I've tried yet that I haven't loved. So with that said, Suzy, it's always a pleasure to have you back. I love this CBD wave that we're all going through, and I'm glad that I'm hooked onto your cart because I love knowing the person who's making this. I feel more comfortable about that. Again, your whole background in health and wellness gives me a little bit of more confidence in buying from you and trusting that what you say is actually in there and that you're using it yourself and that you're not a big conglomerate quite yet who's just wanting to push product. You're actually wanting people to get real results. So I appreciate all the time and effort that you put into the product and for sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.